Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your April mid-month 2020 readings. I hope everybody's staying safe and keeping their minds occupied in their house. Is there a little bit of tension in the house? Because right when I said that, Seven of Wands came out. Maybe a little defensiveness, being cooped up, you know. Pretty easy to happen. Irritations will start, you know. Maybe feeling a little defensive, Cancer. With the Lover. So I have the Seven of Wands come out with the Lover card. Or it could be with a Gemini. But usually the Lover's cards means the Lover's card for me. So I feel like you're having some defensiveness in a relationship. Cancer for mid-month through the end of April 2020. Let's see what else the universe has to tell you. That wants to come over, even though it flipped back. Cancer, I feel like this is with an Emperor. So somebody embodies Emperor energy. Could be a business owner. I feel like the reason for, and I feel like this is competition now that I'm looking at this, about who's going to get over a burden, the Emperor or you, Cancer. Although it could be with a Gemini. Because I was trying to find out what signs specifically. So, Cancer, I feel like you're feeling defensive towards a Gemini. So I feel like in this case, the Lover's card is a Gemini. And I feel like you guys are competing over a certain burden that you both share on who's going to become the victorious one. And it's with you and an air sign. Could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but I feel like it's a Gemini because the Lover's card came out, but I'm not feeling... I'm feeling competition. I'm feeling like let's see who's the best one dealing with this burden. Let's find out what the burden is for you, Cancer. For mid-April to end of April 2020. What's this burden that you and the Gemini share? That's way too many cards. What's this burden that you and this Gemini share? Here's the thing. All right. With what's going on right now, and I can't help but link it somewhat to the coronavirus and what's happening in the U.S. as far as like stay-at-home states and really the world, you know, quarantining and all that good jazz. You know, it's been hard on people, and I feel like it's brought out a lot of fear. I know I've had a lot of anxieties lately, and I know I'm feeling that from the collective. Because I am an empath. I do feel like energies from people. And I have had a lot of nervousness, and I know it's not mine. Because I realize that I only have myself to hold accountable. And like social distancing and things like that. And what come will come. And so I don't share that fear, but I'm feeling that fear. So I know the collective as a whole is pretty fearful right now. But I also feel like humanity in its finest form is coming out as far as volunteering and helping out giving a helping hand, donating, making masks in their with their home 3D printers, and you know, but I feel like between you and this Gemini, it's bringing out an air of competitiveness on who's going to be able to offer this help first. and carry the burden. And there are legalities that both of you guys are rushing towards to accomplish this. In Cancer, I know this isn't going to resonate with everybody. This feels very, very specific. But it is definitely speaking of a competition between two people on who is going to be the most victorious on carrying the burden for this help that they're going to give. So I don't know if it's volunteering or making things from home as far as PPE gear is concerned, but it's definitely competition between you two. Definitely competition. And definitely competition about who is going to be able to do it the most successfully. Who's going to be able to, offer this. And it's a home. It's to bring happiness to people. So yeah, I really truly feel like this is about volunteer work, or specifically involving coronavirus. And it is about, maybe there's only one volunteer position available for a certain aspect, or one opportunity to, go and help people out between you and another person. You guys are competing for this opportunity. Let's see what flew. Moon card. But there's something you're not seeing, Cancer. Let's see what needs to be illuminated. What you don't see is that there is another person that's involved with making this decision, and it will be a fast decision, and it will come with a lot of abundance. And the decision's going to be made based on who they feel will give the most, who will help out the most, who will give as much as they're giving to give this. I feel like this is a travel opportunity. So if, let's say you're in a state that's not widely affected yet by the coronavirus, maybe you have an opportunity to go somewhere to help. Maybe you're in the medical profession. But I feel like this is more geared towards a home environment. So maybe this is helping complete some housing somewhere, but this isn't out of the country. This is maybe it's helping to build these new hospitals that they need for overpouring patients. And you aren't aware that there is one person that is making this decision. Their decision is based on who can give the most help equally with them. This opportunity isn't a competition. This opportunity is how people will be able to benefit the most from this offer being given. And this isn't a reflection upon personality. This is straight, bare bones, like materialistic, financially base-driven decision. So this is, what can we get the most for the least amount of cost? I don't feel like money's being made so much as it's being thought of in this decision-making capability. For instance, let's say somebody's getting offered a job to go to a hospital to help out there. It's a place they've always wanted to go. So two people are competing for this one slot. One's a doctor, one's a nurse. And it's not to belittle nurses, but let's say they have, 20,000 nurses there and 200 doctors, and they need that doctor. Financially, and who can lend the most help in that situation when you got 20,000 nurses, 200 doctors is a doctor. And that is how this decision is being made. Brass tacks figures. Just, it doesn't have anything to do with who is more deserving, who could, emotionally lend more to this experience. Let's pull some Lenormand cards on this deck, on this Cancer, and find out. Yeah, this is a decision that's going to take a little bit of time. And I feel, Cancer, that the decision will not be you. I feel like the decision will be that you will stay home, but it will be given in a very loving message. And I feel like this decision is just based on where the need is, and that the need is a little greater for some abilities that this Gemini or air sign can bring to the forefront. That they just need that specific arena. Let's see, any advice that the universe has for Cancer for mid-April to end of April 2020, please. Any advice on how to handle this disappointment? Emotions are running high. A time for healing and adjustments are required. So yeah, this is disappointing information, Cancer. Emotions running high. A time for healing and adjustments are required. So you might have already gotten this information, and if you haven't, you will shortly. If it doesn't even sound remotely like anything that's tied to your story or your timeline, then please leave it. That just means it wasn't meant for you. And it could be about somebody you know. But yes, you just see, it's not going to be what you want to hear, but it is still, the goal is being accomplished, whether it was you that accomplished it or somebody else. You taking the time to understand that it is because this specific ability that they have to offer is what's the greatest need right now. Once you get to that understanding, you are doing your part for this situation. You're still helping ease this burden. With that being said, Cancer, you guys have a wonderful rest of April. Blessed be.